So for this next mold test, I'm going to be working with the Lite product yet again, and this time I want to try to make a mold to test how much force it will take for it to blow out a wall if the inside of a mold expands. So I've just taken some scrap aluminum here and just made a little C-channel, a little hat as we call it here in our shop. And then to give the other two sides, I just wrapped it in packing tape, and it's still sticky, but I doubt that's going to be an issue. Even if it is, I can just peel it back off. And I did leave the paper on the metal here again, so that way it'll remove from the cast material if I have any issues. And then the one is smaller than the other, and I've designed them to be giving a 3/16 hole wall thickness overall. And I set these in here, and I have a couple of little 1/8" holes, technically 30-bit holes, but whatever, to line that up. And then I'll be putting some pony clamps to hold it in place once it's all in there. So my procedure is going to be to mix up my material, pour it in, and then drop the second mold over it. Now, I don't know the exact amount of material I really need to put in here, so I'm sort of guessing, sort of educated, measuring roughly. It's going to be 3/16 all the way across the bottom, and so I figure I've got one side, and it's going to be 3/16 on every side, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 sides. So however much volume there is right there, I've got, 5 times that total. So I'm just going to look at my mixing bowl here, my mixing cup I should say, and I'm going to do 1-to-1. But it looks like, now this is much smaller mind you, so I need to have a little bit more vertically than otherwise. So if I were to do 1 ounce fill maybe, I should really come up to about 5 ounces to come all the way to the top of the mold. But I don't want that. I want it to stay down a little bit lower. So I'm going to put it around the 4 mark here, which corresponds to my 1-to-1 graph. So I'm going to put part B in here to the 3 mark, add in my dye, mix that up nicely, and then fill up with part A to the other 3 mark here, and pour that into the outside of the mold, then drop the inside mold in, and let it sit, and we'll see how that goes. So I've saved you the nauseatingly exciting portion of me mixing the 2 parts. And they are not kidding when they tell you to mix thoroughly. There is quite a bit of settling and separation that happens. So you want to be absolutely certain you mix it thoroughly. Put it to the 3. Maybe a hair over, but oh well. I really want a more intense color than what this provided last time, and I'm pouring less material, so I'm going to stick to the 3 drops, and we'll see how much better that comes out, if I like it better. 1, 2, 3. That's a nice rich orange. And they said do not use more than 2%. I assume by volume, since that's how I'm measuring my main material. frankly, I don't know what the conversion rate of drops to marks on my cup are, so I'm not going to get too worked up about it. But I am going to put there. And this has been sitting for about 3 or 4 minutes, and you can see how much bubbling I accidentally put into it. But you can also see how inconsistent that is just from resting for a few minutes. So, as I said, and emphasizing yet again, stir thoroughly. I do have a vacuum table behind me that I could set this down and put a bucket over it, turn on the vacuum table, and that would probably evacuate most of the big bubbles. I'm not going to worry about that too much though, not for the test pour here. Alright, so I'm going to the 3 on my 1-to-1. Alright. Something I have learned is you do not want to just mix them together in your final mold if you're doing a test piece like what I've been doing. I tried that. That was a bad idea. I wasn't able to get a 100% clean mixture all the way up to the edge of the wall. Consequently, I had goo all over the casting. So yes, you want to mix it in one container. You can measure it in 2 separate containers and mix into a third. That's fine, no problems with that. But you definitely want to mix it in a separate container from your mold. So, notes from the lazy. I'm just going to pour that in there. Just in case. I'm going to put it on that. And I'm going to go over. Ah, mess. And it's even pouring back into the inside cavity. Oh well. What are you going to do? So there we have it. It's kind of cool in the shop here. So I am going to take this into the kitchen and get a paper plate to put it on first. I don't want to make a mess and get in trouble. And we all know what it's like to get in trouble over the kitchen being a mess with things that don't include food. So there we go. I will make another video as soon as I have something to show you. Thanks a lot.